A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a stark warning to the government, the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, NIESR, has revealed that Chancellor Rachel Reeves must raise taxes immediately to address a staggering £50 billion hole in the public finances. This alarming projection is attributed to a combination of slowing economic growth, a weak job market, and the repercussions of Labour's recent decisions regarding welfare spending. The think tank's analysis predicts that Reeves is on track to miss her borrowing targets by £41.2 billion, raising urgent questions about the sustainability of the current fiscal strategy. To restore the £9.9 billion buffer maintained since last year's budget, the Chancellor faces a daunting choice: raise taxes or implement spending cuts totaling £51.1 billion. David Aikman, NIESR's director, emphasized that it is becoming increasingly challenging for Reeves to avoid tax increases on working individuals if she intends to adhere to her fiscal rules and honor spending commitments. This forecast poses significant concerns for Downing Street, given NIESR's reputation as Britain's oldest independent economic think tank, co-founded by the influential economist John Maynard Keynes. The credibility of NIESR's economic model is recognized globally, with its insights utilized by institutions such as the Treasury and the International Monetary Fund. The warning arrives just a year after Reeves criticized the Conservative government for allegedly leaving a £22 billion black hole in the public finances, a situation she used to justify a controversial £40 billion tax increase. However, the consequences of that tax hike have been detrimental, with business confidence plummeting, unemployment rates rising, and inflation once again on the rise. In light of these developments, Mel Stride, the shadow chancellor, attributed the fiscal shortfall to Labour's economic mismanagement. NIESR's grim outlook suggests that the upcoming budget could surpass last year's in terms of tax increases, despite Reeves' assurances that she would not impose similar tax hikes again. Efforts to cut government spending have encountered significant pushback from backbenchers, indicating that Reeves may struggle to achieve substantial savings in this area. Stephen Millard, the think tank's deputy director, warned that any attempts to amend borrowing rules could lead to a repeat of the tumultuous period experienced under former Prime Minister Liz Truss. Reeves has consistently maintained that her fiscal rules are ironclad, making tax increases the most viable option for addressing the budgetary gap. Aikman articulated the Chancellor's predicament, stating, "She faces an impossible trilemma. It is becoming increasingly difficult to see how the government meets its fiscal targets, sticks to spending promises, and avoids tax increases on working people. Something will have to give." The scale of the required tax increases could equate to a 5p rise in both basic and higher rates of income tax. Millard remarked, "These are the really hard decisions the Chancellor is going to have to make if she is going to raise the £50 billion. Fiddling at the edges is not going to do the job." NIESR's analysis also highlighted the costly trade-offs associated with various tax strategies. For instance, freezing income tax thresholds would disproportionately affect low-paid workers and pensioners, while increasing VAT would exacerbate the cost of living for vulnerable households. Raising corporation tax could further harm struggling businesses, and targeting savers and investors could undermine long-term economic growth. Recent figures from HMRC indicated that nearly 2.6 million individuals would be required to pay tax on their savings this year, a rise of over 120,000 from the previous year. The average tax bill for these savers is projected to reach £2,300, according to analysis by stockbroker AJ Bell. Richard Tice, deputy leader of Reform UK, asserted that Labour would likely have to abandon its manifesto pledge not to raise taxes on working individuals, attributing this inevitability to the party's poor economic decisions. This government needs to take immediate action to end the flight of wealthy people from Britain, get a grip on the billions wasted by the Bank of England through quantitative easing and tightening, and end the net zero agenda which is marching this country to financial ruin, he stated. Stride criticized Labour's approach, asserting, "Labour will always reach for the tax rise lever because they don't understand the economy. Businesses are closing, unemployment is up, inflation has doubled, and the economy is shrinking. And Labour are refusing to rule out more damaging tax rises on investment." In response to NIESR's forecasts, Labor backbenchers and union supporters have intensified calls for a wealth tax. John Richards, Assistant General Secretary of Unison, proposed that a wealth tax on the richest individuals in society could serve as a sensible first step. He also suggested considering new levies on the gambling industry and an online sales tax to ensure that global giants like Amazon contribute more to the UK economy. Labour MP Richard Burgon emphasized the need for the government to embrace redistribution rather than resorting to unpopular cuts. He highlighted that UK billionaire wealth has more than doubled since 2010 and argued that a 2% wealth tax on assets exceeding £10 million could generate £24 billion annually. Burgon noted that such a measure is popular among the public and gaining support among Labour MPs, potentially providing a solution to avoid further austerity measures. As the Chancellor prepares for the upcoming budget, the pressure mounts for innovative solutions to address the escalating fiscal challenges. The NIESR report serves as a clarion call for decisive action to navigate the complex economic landscape ahead. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.